Name's Adam Watson. I am from Florida. I might say born and raised there. Spent some time in the Marines. Medically retired there from a long time ago. Did a lot of electrical work. That's kind of my background right now. But bear with me, it's the first time I've done this. So, what can I tell you? I've been, since I was a Floridian, hurricanes, that's where I basically was born into prepping in a way. I get a kick out of watching people get ready for it now. Yeah, it's just kind of funny, and most of y'all watch it and see it. But I guess around 2000, when Katrina happened, I can't remember, 5, 6, somewhere in there, that kind of set me into overdrive. Opened my eyes quite a bit and told me I'm not going to let that happen to my family. And that set me down the road. So about that time, I started prepping hardcore. Just looking out for my family, really. I've got a few members. And, when the financial crash happened, I went to the bank just to get out a few dollars, and they wouldn't let me have a few dollars. That set me into overdrive. But that's kind of my background. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing the research. I enjoy learning from other people. I by far do not know everything. And if I say anything on here that can augment your plans or whatever, fantastic. If you see something on here that could help my plans, something I haven't even thought about, please let me know. Comment cards, if you don't get a chance to talk to me, please let me know. Because that's how I learn, because I'm sure there's some cool stuff. I've already seen a few cool stuff that Matt has on his thing I'm going to have to get from my box. But I'm going to focus, like I said, second half on your vehicle. Up here in the northwest part of Arkansas, we get a little bit more snow than ice, but we also get our fair share. I live in two places, so I kind of got two points of view. I live down in central Arkansas, and I also live up here in the Bentonville area during the week. So it's two different environments. But anyways, I'm going to tell a story that really made me learn a lot about preparing yourself for the winter in your vehicle. And I'll probably tell a few, because everything that's ever happened to me, I've been in that huge Dodge Dually out there, which has been great, but when it breaks down, it breaks down. My wife and I was living in Florida, and we wanted to move up to central Arkansas, and we was looking for a house. But we also had some property, about 30 acres, not too far down the river from here, that I had already set up as a campground with an 18-foot camper in it, and lots of food, lots of this, that, and the other. We were using that as home base. Came up here, we drive down the Conway area, BB everywhere, looking for a house, looking for property, and one time we heard the radio, said, yeah, winter weather's coming in. So we scooted back up there, no problem, we'll sit there and go back out. Short of it is 2 days of ice, and this place is in a valley, in another valley off a side road. Very shady, very cool, very cold. 2 days of ice, all right, we're stuck. That Dually, four-wheel drive, diesel, it wasn't going up the small hill. Back it back in, all right, no problem. 2 days of about a foot of snow on top of ice. All right. I'm set up. It's cold in the camper. We got our Jack Russells. We learned a lesson there. Heat rises. Them poor little babies, we had them on the floor until we realized how cold it was, about knee down, and we bought them up. After about 6 days, nobody knows where we're at. Nobody knows how to reach us. Walk up to the top of the hill, get a spotty cell phone signal, send out a text message here and there. We had 1 day where it opened up. This is it. We're going for it. Went up the hill, trying to get up the hill with the Dually, full blast, load gear, get halfway up, start sliding on that ice under the snow, doing this number. That goes down. Rear wheel, thankfully to the tree, God looking out for me. Boom, hit the tree. All right, I'm going to start digging out. Luckily, Florida boy, you would think, oh, he's not going to be prepared. Well, sometimes when you're not from a certain area, you think the worst and you over-prepare, and thankfully I did. So I'm digging out the truck, and I look up, and my wife, God bless her, she may be a little quiet, she may not seem shy, but there she is with a pickaxe, picking ice all the way up the rest of the hill. So anyways, we got out of there, thankfully, got back to Conway area and settled in there, etc. But I never would have expected it. It was sunny, it was great. Weather people, you know, they didn't expect nothing. Little winter storms passing through. Okay, we'll go stay the night. Boom. Out of nowhere. You just don't know. Another little, I'm telling these little stories to lead into what happens is, again, that diesel Dually. This is last year, year before last. Like most people, it's 8 o'clock at night, you get a hankering for ice cream, whatever. I'm going to jump in the truck running into town. Well, town is 15 miles away from me. That's the edge of town. Nothing between here and there except for some houses. And you don't want to walk up their driveways at night. You're going to get greeted one of two ways, with a big dog or a shotgun. No problem. Coming back, 7 miles from the house. Fuel pump goes out in the duel. You learn how quick, when it's 20 degrees out, the wind's blowing, it'll get cold inside of a vehicle. But thankfully, I had cell service. Thankfully, I had a setup similar to what I got up here. That truck has got stuff tucked in there pretty little. There's no space in that truck. But anyways, it helped us a lot because thankfully we got a record there and we were home within about 2 hours. But when I called the roadside service, they were concerned enough of the weather. They actually called the local sheriff's department and had them contact me just in case. So once again, you just don't know when or where, and I think a lot of us know that. Some of us may not. I'm gearing this from the bottom up, so if I'm telling you something, you already know. Well, you'll know a little more. But anyways, stress. Stress, if I hadn't been in that mindset already, I've seen people that stress will affect you in a few ways. It'll lead to anxiety, and you don't want that. I'm sure some of us seen people like that, and then anxiety will lead to panic. You start panicking, you start making mistakes, you start making bad decisions, and personally I believe panic will kill you. I'm not too worried about dying or freezing to death in Arkansas, but you sure will be uncomfortable if you're not prepared, and you sure could fall into a bad situation. So basically I had to learn from reading and talking to other people, and thankfully my daughter has a lot of psychology action going on, so talking to her a little bit about controlling stress. And I kind of found out myself from the military that if you plan and practice and plan and practice and go over and over, that stress kind of disappears because you become familiar with that situation. And it'll ground you a little bit in reality. But that's going to lead into the whole thing. If you can pass this on to anybody, but I know PACE planning. That's what I know. That's how I figure things out, and it's real simple. It's an acronym. It's not rocket science. It is something that you do have to take serious thought, and I know a lot of us here do when we start planning out stuff and thinking about scenarios. And PACE planning is basically, it's your primary plan. What am I going to do? If this happens, then I'm going to do this. And then, okay, that don't work out, then you got an alternate plan. If, all right, plan A didn't work, or, I'm going to move on to this. These circumstances have changed a little bit. And, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. And it keeps you a little bit calmer. Okay, I got a plan. Keeps your relative, spouse, whoever may be with you. Okay, I know he's got a plan. I'm not going to panic as much. If that don't work, then you always got to have a contingency, plan C. If those didn't work, this is the circumstances, then I'm going to do this. You get to the emergency plan, all bets are off in my mind. My emergency plan is, okay, all bets are off. We're going for it. We're going to do everything we can. But I got a little tiny bit more detail in the pamphlet there, and you can do some more research and find out about it. I'm not here to spoon feed you or force feed you. I want you to do some research. You'll learn some good stuff out there. Well, when you're also doing some planning for your winter event, it's all subjective. Every one of us lives somewhere else. We drive something different. You may have the kids that you carry around or not, grandkids. It may just be yourself. Oh, I live in a city. I know every back road. Well, you just don't know. I can vouch for that probably 4 times already, which is great. I learned a lot and found a bunch of holes in my system. One of the things I wanted to say, and my daughter, she's 24, and I haven't had little kids with me in a long time, but you really need, when you're doing your planning, think about, am I going to have the grandkids with me? How old they are. They're toddlers. They can't communicate very well. They can't say, oh, I'm cold, I'm freezing. You can kind of see a little bit. But think about when you're planning your box or whatever it may be to keep in your vehicle. Think about that also. Think about if you're bringing grandma and grandpa with you. They're a little elderly, they'll get cold quicker, whatever. Think about that. Keep that in the back of your mind. The other thing, other than you're getting to your planning, you planned out, okay, I'm going to do this and this and that, and if this happens. I think mindset's a big thing. I've seen people plan, and they'll go over it and just kind of plan superficially, as I call it. But I think you really have to have your mindset in. You got to become emotionally involved in your planning. Before the event, you just got to sit there and visualize your reactions. How am I going to react? How is my family going to react? Because their stress and their reaction is going to affect you. What kind of possible decisions am I going to make if I am stressed? I know it's hard to visualize a situation if you have not been in it, but you really got to try to. And that's part of your planning when you're getting ready for your box there. Really, these boxes up here, you can use bags, whatever. Mine are made right here, and that's a whole different class, for on-road events, dirt roads and asphalt. That's what mine are designed for. Off-road, that's a whole different beast. So if you're going off-road, there's another class for that. And I'll have to consult with some friends that are a little more familiar with the Ozarks than I am. I'm Florida. Give me mud, sand, palmetto bushes, I'm good. So we'll talk about that later. But anyways, there's two key reasons for this box. Your box, whatever you design. You want to stay as warm as possible, as long as possible. And you want to attract as much attention to yourself as you can. The stuff in the boxes, it's stuff. It's useless. It don't mean nothing. If I gave you these boxes, you might say, okay, this is for this is for that. And then you look at a few things and say, what the heck is this in there? Well, to me, it might be one thing I have in there that I can use for 4 or 5 different things because I thought about it. I run that scenario through my head. I play that game. We only got so much room in our vehicle, so you kind of got to do that. Of course, I got a big truck and some other stuff, but I've also had all this stuff right here stuffed in the back of a little hatchback Golf. Got a little creative. But let's see here. Anyways, winter driving in your vehicle, a lot of us know if you live in a rural environment, way out, houses are far apart. If you've traveled home in the middle of the night, not too many cars out. That's one scenario, everybody's going to plan different for that. Some of you that live in, say, Bentonville, Springdale area, there's always people running around, probably even late at night. Those areas, they might not stop and help you. Depends on, where they're from. I've seen it left and right. And there's that element that you got to plan for personally. I'd say the one box I'm going to show you with the most stuff in here, I call my long travel winter box. Long travel for me being, I know going down 49 between Fayetteville and 40, there's not a whole lot of nothing. So if I was to break down and get stuck in the car 24, 48 hours, that's what that box is for. I've got some other ones that if I'm traveling locally and I know it may be a while and I'm going to be cold, I carry some warm clothes and I'll show you that. I got a pair of them the jumpsuits, insulated jumpsuits, like Carhartts in there. Makes it a lot easier, easy to carry, but all in one thing. Water. Carry water in your car and all the time. I try and follow the rule, even if it's in little 16-ounce bottles, a gallon per person. Reason being is when it's cold weather, people don't realize it. They'll dehydrate a lot quicker. You do. It happened to me a long time ago in the military, and that's why I am where I am today. Cold weather got me, and I'm a Florida boy. I was born and raised in Miami in 40-degree weather. I had a heat stroke, so I should tell you something about water. Now I'm going to say this statement, and some of y'all are going to look at me like I'm crazy, but calories will kill you. And this is for Bruce and Gordon to say, what? It's an inside joke. But if you don't have enough calories in you in a cold situation, in a car, you could very well go into hypothermia. Reason being, you need those calories for your body to produce heat. If you don't have calories, your body's not going to produce heat as quick. It's not going to recover as fast. And like I said, the reason of this box, warm as possible, as long as possible. Some of you may be sitting there saying, well, I'll just run the heater. I'll just run the heater in the vehicle. My circumstance, 7 miles from the house, the truck broke down. The truck broke down because the fuel pump broke. No heater, nothing. Rural area. Took, I can't quite remember, I have to look at my wife, it's probably, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours for a tow truck to get there? About that, yeah. Well, I'd say within 5 minutes, when it's 20 degrees out and the wind was blowing probably about like this, I went from a nice hot truck to an icebox. Just getting my stuff together, so it goes quick. Hypothermia, my mind just went a little blank on it, but we all know pretty much you start shivering, and if you stop shivering and you've been chattering your teeth, you're getting in some trouble. Do a little more research on it. I'm sorry I don't have it right here, but find out what the symptoms are. You just need to know that just in case, because it can sneak up on you quick. I can vouch for that too. Let's see here. Well, I'm kind of going to get into the boxes here, but one of the things I wanted to talk about here real quick is we all know heat rises and it's easier to keep a small confined space heated. Now, I got all this, I don't know the official name of it. I started out, you know, the things you put in your windshield here, and I call it bubble wrap foil. But you can get it in a roll, actually at Home Depot, Lowe's, in the insulation section. And that's what I work with here. And the stuff I got in here, I have a few vehicles, let's say 4 or 5 I think right now. That's kind of my thing. But I have gone through, these are based on my Jeep. I got a Jeep Grand Cherokee. And I went through, and with that premise in mind of keeping a small space easier to heat, I was like, well, I need to keep the inside of this cab warmer. And I went through and took some of this stuff and made templates of the windows. Each window, just the front windows, because I don't carry any children. It's just pretty much me and my wife and dogs. If I had kids, I'd do the whole thing. But I made a template of each window. And if you notice these little tabs I got up here, those are to stick out the edge of the window, roll the window up, and it'll hold it in place. So that's something to think about. And what I do is I have this kind of scattered across the front, side windows, and actually, this one in particular that's folded up, if you unfold it, I got these little clips here that you can get at the Office Depot or whatever, the little binder holding clips. And I put them on and I leave them up like that with the tabs. And behind the front seats, I'll string a cord between the handholds or the hangers to close that off. Now I want to throw this up. We all know, I hope, crack them windows. Crack them windows a little bit. Because, if you're either running the heater, you take a chance of carbon monoxide getting in there, or just in general, because what I'm going to show you next is going to help this space that I'm talking about keep you warm. I hate to waste stuff. And I saw this little thing when I was cutting stuff, and I told Britt and them and a few other friends I got that I was going to have them model my body armor that I pack in my box. Well, I saw these two pieces after I cut off, and it just made me think about it. Obviously you don't pack clothes in there to keep you warm. I believe in layers, and I pack clothes, and I'll show you here. 2 people in my vehicle, there's 2 sets of everything. But I'm always experimenting. I saw this, and I was like, this ain't my Halloween costume, my Wonder Woman belt or my thing belt. But I was like, well, you want to keep your core warm. Yeah. So I took a piece of this. It just simply wraps around and Velcros. And I tell you what, it wasn't cold like this, but I had a t-shirt on. I put it on. It's probably 70 degrees. I got warm pretty quick. So that's just another idea, thinking outside the box, figure out your own thing that's going on. So we've closed up our space in our vehicle a little bit here. We're going under the assumption that you don't have a heater. Vehicle ain't running. You've called somebody, but you're waiting for the wrecker service or what have you. If you ever called roadside service, which we did, it's a big back and forth game. So that takes a little while. They're calling you, they're calling somebody else, what have you. But as far as heating up the space, you'd be surprised. And I forgot where I learned this, but I have I call them sternos. They call them, I'm not sure, chafing dish fuel. It's like that dish we have over there to keep things warm. They use them in banquets and stuff. This little thing, I got 12 of them for $15 at Sam's. And it's basically, as I know, as a sterno. If it didn't freeze on me. Make sure they're loose. This one's tight. It's been sitting in the box a little while. But they'll burn for 6 hours. And honestly, I set them on be aware of fire. Don't knock these things over, because I've seen people say, put a candle in there, put this in there. I'm not cool with candles in there because everybody's car is different. I got the truck, I got a flat spot, you know, you can knock it over. You don't want to do that. That could be good, that could be bad, you just don't know. But this is a piece of hardy board. Find yourself something similar to put on your center console or whatever so you don't melt it. Been there, done that? But this thing is amazing. It will keep you warm. So if you can imagine, you know, you're in a closed-in little bubble. It's cold outside because you're sitting there in a metal box. You know, fire one of these up. It'll keep you pretty warm. You know, you're dressed up and waiting on. Calories. I say calories kill. Say I'm stuck in that truck for 24 hours or what have you because I'm so far out. I'm not going to walk during the day or whatever, or I can't walk because of whatever. Just a little, probably soup can or something like that. Just punch you some holes in the bottom. You know, holes in the top, holes in the bottom, let some air in, and I put it over that. And it keeps one, you know, from accidentally, you know, rubbing your arm over. Next thing you know, your shirt's on fire or something. And also, the reason being is, I got odds and ends of food in here. I've got ramen noodles, stuff everybody loves, some Spam, but a lot of calories in it. I've got a little old medication bottle with some rice in it. I've got some bouillon cubes, honey. Just, I'm thinking calories. I want to keep calories in my body to keep me warm and keep me going. Now what I do have in here is some cayenne pepper. You can get them in little pills. For me it works when I first found out about it. I don't know exactly why, but hot sauce, cayenne pepper will help raise your body temperature a little bit. And it does. I've used it. But I do advise get you a little bottle of Pepto-Bismol or Mylanta or something like that. Take a swig of that first, coat your stomach, because it will give you heartburn real fast. But it works out pretty good. Now this little setup, the same thing is keeping you warm. This is just a little chicken can, I think. Put a piece of baling wire, put it on there, and I can use it to heat my water. Because like I said, keep water in your vehicle. Don't drink it cold. Don't, because it's just going to get rid of all that body heat. Warm it up a little bit. I can boil rice in there, the ramen noodles, what have you. I do have Bic lighters to start this thing. Bic lighters are great. Everybody uses them. I like them. But I think a few of us might all know when you get down to about 30 degrees and it ain't been in your pocket and sitting there for a while, you can rub your finger raw trying to get that butane to go. They just don't want to do it. Afterwards, there's a wonderful man here, Gary, does some good primitive stuff that I want to learn from. And I have some ferro rods up there. We moved it up there. So if anybody's never struck a ferro rod onto a cotton ball, you can mess with it. But what I got here is mineral oil. I've got a ferro rod. If I had to, lighter don't work, boom, spark it up. We'll get the flame going one way or another. Let's see here so I don't get too far off track. So you're heating your space, you're cooking you some meals. Let's back up a little bit. Maps. I'm a firm believer in maps. And I still need to work on that tremendously. I've got the Arkansas state map. I'm working on getting a county map, detailed county map for every county that I could have to travel to between Bentonville and my home down in Perry County area. Both ways. Not just if I have to go off of 49 and shoot here and there, which we've rode quite a bit, or wherever, if I had to come this way. I love my phone. I love GPS. My wife's my navigator. I drive. She does the GPS because she's quicker at it than I am. You know, I'd be like, oh, we're supposed to turn that. She's like, up here, whatever. Get you some maps. Start collecting them. You can call the local county, Better Business Bureau, places like that. There's references for it. Do that, by all means. Put them on in every vehicle if you can, if you have several. GPS. I have a GPS app that I simply pull up and it just gives me the GPS coordinates. That's what I get. Reason being is you can know every road, this, that, or the other, but you might forget a road name. You might be so far down the road. You might be somewhere you don't know. And you call roadside service. Where are you at? Well, I pulled off a so-and-so road, but then I turned around and I don't know. If you got cell signal, you can just hit that app, at least give them some GPS coordinates. Makes it a little more accurate for them, emergency services, to find you instead of they're going down the road and we think it's here and they're looking and they're looking. It's a helpful thing. The other thing we have is and I'll preface this with, if somebody wants to find me, they're going to find me. That's just my feeling. They're going to track me or whatever. But we have a family GPS app. It's called Life 360. There's a bunch of them out there, but it's always on. Since I traveled from Bentonville down to my home, I'll go down there a lot of work. It's a homestead type thing. I've had my fair share of accidents and had to call my wife. I'm in the emergency room. She's up here. But at least she knows when I'm traveling, and vice versa when she's traveling. If that little dot with my name on it stops, and it stays stopped for a couple hours, and there isn't a traffic report saying that something ain't going on, then she knows something has happened. And if she can't make contact with me, we have our arrangements in such amount of time, she's going to call a sheriff's department or whatever in that general area and ask for a well-being check. You know, this is what's going on. And hopefully they'll come out and check on me if something happens or what have you. Because we go on some of these back roads, same situation. You know, you don't know. Somebody might not travel down the road for a while. But that's just some suggestions for me to give to you. You can follow it if you want. Two other things I want to cover, then I'll really start digging into this box. Is, some of us have to take medications, and it's vital. It's vital to our health. I mean, we'll you know, whatever it may be, you need to get it within a 24-hour period and take it so many times a day. I suggest every vehicle you got or on your person at least have 24 hours worth of that vital medication, whatever it may be. You know, put in a little pill bottle, have it with you. Insulin, I don't know much about it. I see on TV they have new pens or something. You know, you just don't know. If you got a diabetic in the car and you get held up for 24 hours, I imagine you're going to be in some trouble. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I ain't been looking. I don't even know where Bruce Gordon is, but all right, we're going to speed it up. But real quick on that insulin thing, another move up here. It took me 5 moves up here with a 20-foot trailer loader, hillbilly style, front back. I had a lot of stuff in Florida. But we was coming up through Mobile, Alabama, watching the weather a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when a big, huge ice storm moved through. Luckily, we spotted it. We stopped on the edge, got a motel, and it came through right when everybody's getting out of work. Basically, a total mess. People were abandoning their cars on the highway, which caused more backup. People were spending the night in their cars, etc., etc. So that's what made me think, man, there's got to be some people out there hurting in the sense that they don't have their medication on. You know, so I've had to take some medication at times here and there, and I know if I didn't take it on the scheduled time, man, that was brutal. I was, you know, all messed up, and I didn't want to go through that. One other thing, if you're stuck at night and you cannot get out of your car for whatever reason, say you can't start, the heater ain't running, or you don't have a cell phone signal. You know, I think that could be the worst. No cell phone signal. We rely on it, etc., etc. Don't go start walking looking for a house at night. Say, oh, I think there was a house 5 miles up the road. Well, on a normal day, I think we can walk about 2 miles per hour. So let's just easy math. 4 miles up the road, 2 miles per hour. It's going to take you 2 hours. Okay, throw in it's nighttime, throw in there's ice on the road, there's some snow, you're already cold, you got a pair of tennis shoes on because you're just coming back from work or the gym and you don't have proper boots on. That's not a good thing. So please don't try it at night. So we're going to dig in the box, but I'm going to give you a real quick, and I know I got to hurry up. I told you I have to talk. I talked about pace planning, and please do research on it because it is a helpful tool, not just this. Anything you're going to plan for, it really is. When you start writing down, visualizing, going through, and you start shooting holes in and finding drawbacks, and involve your family, anybody else in there. Because my wife forever, I got the plan, it's good. She goes, well, what about this? All right, let's go. You know, back to point A. But this is an example of like if I was stuck in cold weather, we had an ice storm come through, whatever, my pace plan. And it's just general. This isn't the detailed one. But say, okay, I'm going to go down P, primary. My car runs and I have cell phone signal, but my car's not fixable. It's real simple. I'm going to call a tow truck. I'm going to run the heater in the vehicle, and I'm going to follow up with the roadside service lady, get her direct line number when you call her. If they call a tow truck company, get the driver's cell phone number. Try and get that, and then keep following up with that driver, because they will tell you, oh, the driver's going to be there in 20 minutes. 2 hours later, where's the driver? At least you can call him and help him find you and stuff like that. But anyways, that was my primary thing. Real simple. Car runs, call roadside service, hang out, stay a little warm. Now say the car is not running, like when my fuel pump went out, but I do have cell phone signal. This is just an example. I'm going to call the tow truck, and I'm going to begin my warming plan, because my car don't run, I don't have heat. So the box is going to come out. The one on the end is, like I said, the jumpsuits, the Carhartt jumpsuits that are insulated. I'm going to pull them out, and we're going to put them on. We're going to do the windows, think along those lines. All right, now we're getting into the interesting stuff. Seat, my contingency. The other two didn't work. It ain't happening. Car's not running. I don't have a cell phone signal. We're going to kick in the warming plan. Now, on these foil things, and you can use anything. I just use this because it had a lot of extra. Basically, like I said, the box has two purposes. As warm as possible, as long as possible, and attract as much attention as possible to my situation. Whether I'm on the road, whether I would skid it off the road and my car is halfway in a ditch, and we all know we've seen people drive by and they never even know the car's there. I have got glow sticks I'm going to stick up by the road. This thing right here, rural roads, somebody might not want to stop. They don't know. This is an odd time. So I just took a piece of foil, help 911 on it, and basically same clips, same business clips. I got a piece of how the sectional tent rods are. I put it on there to keep it held out like that, and I stick one end of the rod in one of the windows and roll it up. So it's literally sticking outside of the car. Hopefully somebody that has a cell phone, they'll get down the road and have cell phone signal and say, hey, I saw this car on the road. It had a help sign. They got all kinds of, y'all might want to check it out. I didn't want to stop. I didn't feel safe. At least you can attract some attention to you that way. So yeah, on plan C, I'm going to put the warming thing out. I'm going to put this out because I have no cell phone signal. Car ain't running. This is going to get a bad situation possibly. I don't have them in here, but you can get little LED strobe lights. I have these lanterns, which are nice just for general light. I always tape extra batteries to stuff. I got them. I know where they are. I don't have to dig in the box. But this little one, you can't really see it because the tape is on. That's the other thing. My batteries, when I put them in here, I don't want them to run down because the button accidentally got pushed. I put tape over one end of one battery. So all I got to do is pull that tape out. Like when you buy something new, you pull that little tab out. Batteries work. That's what I did here. But basically, this one has a little bitty red strobe light in the bottom. If say I'm in a ditch because I had one car accident slid off, I'll put that out by the road. Literally, I'll stick that thing in the road somewhere to get somebody's attention. You can get LED strobe lights, just really bright ones. Okay, so here we are. We've hit Plan C. I got those things out. I'm assessing in my mind the location of the nearest place that we saw that might be occupied. And we keep FRS radios in our cars. Sometimes we both travel back and forth, but I always have two pair in the vehicle. I might go out if it's evening, if it's not as windy, and call what I call probing. Okay, I think there was a house. We might have saw a light down the road. We're going to stay in radio contact. I'm just going to go a little ways down the road and probe, as you might say. Okay, yeah, there is a house. Maybe I can get some attention that way, because remember, we're in a situation with no cell phone signal, no power in the vehicle. But I'm not going to go too far, because like I said, at a 1 to 2 mile an hour pace, I don't want to get a mile down the road and then have to walk another mile back. Say I'm only walking a mile an hour, that's 2 hours. I'm going to get cold, that's a lot of time, so just a little bit. All right, here's where all bets are off in my general pace plan. I've hit emergency plan. For me, and this is me, I'm not the guru, I don't know it all, but this is me. My family is the most important thing in the world, and I think my wife knows. I've injured myself plenty of times. I will beat myself to death just to make sure they're okay. I am going to light a fire in the middle of the road. That's my plan. I don't care. I am going to stop a car. I am going to get the fire department somebody's attention. Asphalt, great, fine. I burn it. That's some black smoke. They're going to see anything I got. I'm going to throw it. One, that's going to keep me warm. I'm going to try and keep choking around. I don't want to breathe asphalt. But I've already set that in my mind. I'm going to do that. I'm mentally prepared for that. I don't want to. I don't want to damage stuff. But here's the next thing. I've got my tech license and ham radio. I've got my general license. I'm good at taking tests. I took them to get them out of the way. I'm learning a lot still from Bruce and Gordon on ham radios. So anyways, even if you're not a ham radio operator, please make a list of the repeaters in the area. And you may not know what they are. Ask somebody of the frequencies. Keep that list in your box. And keep a little bow, I don't know how to pronounce it. I say bow phone. 2-meter radio, they're like $30, $40 sometimes. Ask Gordon to program it for you. If you call him up sometime, I'm putting a little load on him. He gets a lot of calls. Ask him to program it for you for your area in the future sometime, however. Because even if you're not a ham radio operator, and I knew it, and I verified it with Bruce, I didn't know the technical terms, under an emergency situation that is going to affect your life, you can get on here, whether you know the proper procedures or whatever. If you got them repeaters for your area frequency, programmed in there, get on there, say, hey, Mayday, 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 help, emergency, whatever, please, somebody answer me. Do it. Wait. Wait 30 seconds. Do it again. And if you can, and you might be panicked, but if you can, try and do it around the top of the hour and about every 15 minutes. Somebody will be popping on the radio somewhere. If you're not getting a response from one repeater, try another. But that's under an emergency situation if you're not a ham radio operator. I mean, all bets are off. You need to get help. I keep them in my box. I got some little bitty ones I found the other day. I mean, just even smaller than this, older. I'm going to throw them in the box. But that's kind of my general plan. I'm just going to go through and show you a few things. Like I said, I got food. Mark had mentioned these little shop lights that I introduced them to. I got this thing at Lowe's, and that's what Mark was talking about. It runs off of 110 and 12 volt. That's just your typical cigarette lighter jack. I keep it in my truck. In my truck, I fix a lot of my stuff. I'm not no major mechanic, but I can figure it out, fix it. I'm pretty good at that. It's great. If you break down, I think the cord on it's almost 10 foot long. If you need to change your tire at night, I mean, this is great. Take it out there, set it up. You're not trying to see stuff at night. The way some people drive around here, set it up. They're out on the road a little bit so you don't get munched. It's great. I think I paid, how much you pay? 20 bucks, something like that? I mean, they're well worth it. 12 volt and 110. After seeing a few state troopers get munched on the highway, I started carrying a reflective vest. I put that thing on if I'm going to be outside the car messing around. I carry a quick, just a little AM/FM radio. It's a hand crank. It's got a little LED flashlight on it, chargeable batteries. Throw something like that in there. Like I said, this is my box. Adjust it to your situation. It's great because say you are stuck in there for several hours. It will keep your mind off being cold. Say you got kids with you. Let them play with it. Keep their minds off of it because you know how kids are. They'll get uncomfortable real quick, and if we all had children growing up, we know how that goes. I keep some playing cards in there if you do have grandkids or whatever. Just throw little toys in there or something to keep them occupied. A few candy bars, whatever you feed them. Like I said, I keep glow sticks in here. Just road flares, winter time. I've set my fair share of fires accidentally. My luck, I put a road flare out by the road, stand it up, my luck, it has happened. Not with a road flare. A 30-mile-an-hour gust would come along, that thing go tumbling, next thing I know, here I am, running from a fire that's burning me in my car. I get some attention, but heck, I don't want that to happen. So I'll use glow sticks, strobes, stuff like that. I do have in here, and we're all responsible enough, I know we're not going to sit out there and shoot the pilot's eyeballs. One of those green lasers that you see about, that really shoot a long way through the dark. You can find them online in different places. I carry it in there, and a lot of times I carry it with me hiking, just because these things will shoot through the dark. And I figure if EMS or whatever's coming out to find me, at least I can light that thing up, and it's going to go directly back to you. That's one of the reasons. I need to flag somebody down. Cars coming down the road, and I'm like lightsaber in that thing. That's going to get some attention. Hand warmers. Man, I can't tell you how many cases of these things I have. I'm a hand warmer hoarder. These things right here, $5 at Walmart. They even have a newer one. It's 18 hours. It's a lot bigger. I carry them in there, and I learned that with our little adventure for 6 days down in the valley. I will take them, and there's medical tape in there. I will spark them babies up. I tape one under each armpit. I tape some right in my chest, in the core parts of your body. I've even gotten to the point where I'll tape them inside my legs where arteries run down. I'm not worried about my hands and feet. I want that blood flow. I tell you what, I'm amazed when I started doing that. It will keep you warm. If you just have, like now, I dress in layers. I only have 3 things on. And if I've run up the store and something happens, it's great. It's great in your hat too. What do you call them? Toques? I call them beanies. I had a toque. I'm like, oh, you're a fan anyway.
Get my feet warm.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to try and rush through this some more. Wool socks. I got two pair. I got these bags set up. Oh, wow. And hand warmers, thermal underwear, hat, neck cover, wool socks. I got 2 pair of wool socks. I've got extra cups, lighters, work gloves that are insulated. Think that route. Think, okay, I got to stay warm. Really, I got snow chains, or cables is what they call them for the car, because I learned that lesson in that dually. Oh, it's a dually. It's 4-wheel drive. I can go anywhere, anytime, whatever. Oh, no. I got some heavy duty chains in that thing now. Same thing with the cars. I haven't had to use them, but if it's icy, my wife's at work, and it's just going to help you get home a little bit safer than most people. Recovery. One last thing is recovery. A lot of us don't think about recovery. You know, there's a lot of good folks out here. If I see someone on the side of the road and I think I can pull them out, I'm going to pull them out. But you kind of got to know your own vehicle, where your recovery pull points are. I've seen plenty of people trying to help, and next thing you know, plastic bump goes flying, this, that, or the other. Look under your own car. Some have them, some don't. It's a little iron hook. But if somebody shows up and they're willing to help, they don't have a tow strap, I keep, and this is just a lot of stuff I already have. You can buy tow straps or whatever. I keep a set of cables with some shackles in there, 2 sets for 2 lengths. One set is basically if I got 2 recovery points, I'll loop with one the other, and then the third one I can attach onto that and get an even pull out. Something to think about. And like I said, playing cards, etc., etc. That's where I'm at. I'm just trying to tell y'all think about it. Think about it, because some of you probably do, some of you probably don't. But it's not fun when it's happening. I think it's happened to me in every aspect there is out there. I look at it, some people are, man, you got bad luck. I'm like, well, it's a lesson. I learned a lot of lessons, found some holes in the plan, and done that way. But I've also heard of a lot of people that I assume, I'm from Florida, man. Y'all live up in Arkansas. Yeah, it's stuff you do, but they don't. There's a lot of people that don't, and they never even thought about it. And you start throwing the what ifs at them. But definitely do some more research on pace planning if you're not familiar with it. Use it on this. Use it on anything. Tornado plan. It'll help you on that. You go through it, you refine it, you reprocess it, you shoot holes in it, you practice it. You give it to your wife so she can shoot a lot of holes in it. Do it. Look it up. Do research. I got that stuff there. There's a whole section on mindset, techniques to calm you down. But do more research, and that is my deal. So, thank you guys very much. He said about those cards, I really would appreciate it if you get a chance, write on there. This is my first, I write articles. I love writing articles. I have time to think about it, refine it. This is first time speaking. This is my thing, so write down a comment. Tell me how I can improve. Tell me some of the stuff you might put in your boxes. Just write it down for me, because I really would appreciate it. You don't have to put your name, just write it down and say, winner series or whatever. So that'd be great, and thank you all for listening.